Okay, welcome everybody. It says it's going live, and I don't see anybody in the chat yet. Well, there's two people hanging out there, and hopefully this is going to stabilize just a little bit because I've got the camera on a monitor and the whole computer system. It's a computer the size of a paperback book, really, and it sits here on this adjustable stand, so it can move around a little bit, but if this works out from the studio, I'll get a camera mount and put it here on the wood chassis, and that will take care of that problem. But I'm only doing this today from the studio because I promised last week that this week it would be done live from the studio so people could see what's going on and people can ask some questions, and everything that comes out of the audio interface, it's recorded by Audacity, and then I transfer it over the network to the editing computer in the other room, and from there I edit. I change the volume on different instruments or different tracks. It's usually all done in one track, but I do all the things to make it sound really good when I combine it with the video. So really all the editing is done in the other room. The only purpose of this system is to record. So what I've got going today is everything that normally goes to the recording computer is going out live over YouTube today from the mixer into the compressor. So before we really get started, I see there's a couple people out there, but I don't see anybody saying hello in the chat. Come on, say hello. Don't be shy. The water's just fine. This is the Linux Hour every Thursday at 2:30 Eastern Time. Eastern Time means it doesn't matter what time of the year, because there we go. Hey, hello there. Mark's good to have you with us today. For those who are out of the country, out of the United States, Eastern Time means it's going to be EDT or EST. It's always going to be at 2:30. Okay. So before we get into everything, it's appropriate today to remember the folks that never came home that day on September 11. It's truly heartbreaking. It certainly is. So today we're going to have this perched up here on the audio interface as a remembrance of 9/11. So I wish there were some more folks on the channel. I see we have another lurker. If you just want to watch, you don't want to say anything, that's fine. But I'm going to go ahead and start walking through what's going on here in the studio. This obviously is a mixer, okay? This here is the compression strip right here, this DBX, and it handles the compression. And hopefully the audio spiking here, Marks, on YouTube? It shouldn't be. I think the compressor is going to catch it all on the voice peaks. I think we should be good. How's the audio, Marks? Give us a lowdown on that. How's the audio? It should sound fine. This is the RE20, which is a broadcaster, a broadcast microphone. I have a mic locker in the closet here that contains an RE27, which is used for people who have a real singing voice, unlike me. And then I have a couple microphones to mic acoustic guitar and maybe a violin, a couple Shure SM57s. Okay, so I guess we'll start here with the first instrument. This is the Akai MPC Key 61, and it is so fantastic. It has 8,000 sounds in it. And what I really like about it is these pads over here that I'm pointing to up here. You can program these pads for either chords or drums, and I'll show some really cool drum stuff in just a little while. But right now I've got a program for chords. Okay, so we're looking at this beautiful instrument here. This is the Akai MPC Key 61. It's kind of the central deal. And by the way, this here, for those who are into woodworking, this is a wooden chassis that I made out of stair treads, okay, because I never wanted this thing to buckle, no matter how much weight was on here. So I took care of that, and it's held together with these massive deck screws. This thing is not coming apart. And then in the back, there's some metal braces. So it's definitely not coming apart. And underneath there is an undermount light, okay? And I can actually turn that on and off just by putting my hand under there. Isn't that cool? I can just turn it off. And then behind here is an accent LED strip. If I ever decide to play live, that'll be facing the audience. And so the purpose of this undermount light here, let's turn it back on, is at night to be able to see these knobs and these descriptions here. Okay, so I can play in the dark if I want to. Okay, the next here is something completely new this year. This is the Poly-N synth. It's so unique. It's the only instrument of its kind. How it works is you can program up to 3 different synthesizers on these pads. And I'll give an introduction as to how effective this is, especially if you're a person who has dexterity problems in your fingers like I do. Okay, so here we go. And on some of these programs, by varying how hard I press this key, or what's called aftertouch, I can give it different effects. Okay. But if I do that, I can give it a longer delay. Very interesting. Gosh, I hope some other folks join us here. We've got 5 people watching. Come on in, the water's fine. Does anybody have any questions before we go any further here down the rabbit hole in the studio today? It's great to be here. It's a beautiful day here in Kingsport, Tennessee. It's 78. The humidity is very low. It's a clear blue sky, severe clear, actually a lot like the day 9/11. Remember, we had the storms on 9/10. And then this beautiful cold front came through and it was severe clear. That's what they call a day like that. Okay, we had some people leave. All right, well, we'll continue on unless there are any questions. Okay, so up here is a Wave State SE. SE stands for Special Edition. This has an all aluminum chassis, unlike the smaller ones that are plastic, and it has 61 notes with aftertouch. And I'm just going to play a few notes here. So what I do is I pair that up with this. This is a rack module that I'm pointing to here. It's called the Trinity Rack by Korg. What this is a complete synthesizer in a 1U rack module. So what I do is I have a connection through MIDI. So when I play these keys, it will also play this. Now I've got it turned off. And the reason for that is to give a more fatter, more fuller sound off one set of keyboards. I'm actually playing 2 synthesizers. So here I'm going to hit the button. We're going to do that. Well, let me do this. Let me play first without the additional synthesizer. And there I'm going to kick it in. It's extremely effective. Okay, how about that? I see we have 4 people watching. If you'd like to come in and ask a question, feel free to. I don't mind stopping. You know, this is really the Linux hour, but what we're doing today is I promised everybody last week that we'd have a live from the studio. And so this is the studio. The whole idea of this was to make this as compact as possible so I could play everything, whether I'm sitting down or standing up. I'm on this drafting chair right now because I have 2 bad knees. Okay. The idea was to have everything so I could sit or stand and everything would be at the same level for my hands. And then everything would be extremely compact so I can reach everything. Okay, I can twiddle a knob here while I'm playing over here. For example, let me bring up this sound that sounds like crumpling paper. I need to turn the volume up here on the mixer. But then I need to turn it down when I play this. So this wooden chassis is bolted to the frame of this metal rolling cart, which is made by Liquid Stand. So it's bolted. Nothing's going to slide or go anywhere. And the idea is if I had to travel to another state or another city, just pack all this up and it's compact. This is everything except an amplifier. If I wanted to play live, I've got everything except a power amp and the speakers. Okay. Hello there, Jess. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for making it, even though you're on the other side of the planet. And there are so many wonderful things about the internet. You know, it's a wonderful world. It really is. Until people try to screw it up, right? You know, look at 9/11, for example. All those people just went to work on an ordinary day, and some people didn't come home. That was really something. It's great. Okay, so I'd like to continue on here. This is a drum machine. It's hard to see it. Let me point to it. Yeah, you can see it. It's a drum machine disguised as a guitar effects pedal. You ready? Isn't that cool? Who would have thunk it, right? I can do a lot of things with it. Let's see. I can do a lot. I'll just walk through it a little bit until some other folks get here. How about that? Well, Mark, you might like that. So anyway, that's the new drum machine. So those who know me well know I have a problem with the dexterity in my fingers. I'll never be able to play a guitar or a keyboard in a classical, traditional sense. In other words, musicians don't have to worry about me copying their music because I can't play other people's music. So I don't really call what I do music. I call it ambient soundtracks. So, well, of course, I actually have lyrics for songs that I have written. I also have some poems. I did a poetry reading. If you go to the YouTube site, and actually, I'm thinking about changing the name of the YouTube site from KPTAMC, which is Ambient Movie Collective, thinking about changing it to Dime Box Studios. Okay. All right. Yeah, so I've actually got a song written. You can't see it, it's off the camera. There's an electric guitar sitting here along the wall. I need to get what's called a session player to come in here and play. Okay, play along while I sing that song. And the name of it is When the Moon is Low in the Sky. And I did a poetry reading of it, but it hasn't been made into a song yet. Okay. But I have plenty of beautiful soundtracks. And some of my best ones are My Mind is Full of Welcoming Thoughts When I Think of You. And that track is on, there's almost 100 tracks on the YouTube channel of soundtracks that I've done. Okay. Any other questions? So it's kind of hard to see it because I had a tough choice trying to figure out where to position the microphone, where the camera could see everything it needed to see, because it's kind of covering up this beautiful screen here. This has a beautiful LED screen on the keyboard. So as you know, I can't play chords and rhythms. So the beauty of this instrument is I can either program drum sounds into these pads, or they can be chords. So like electric piano. And then I've got the pads over here. So that can be interesting. So let's go ahead and go over here to load some ambient performances, and we will see what happens. See, this touchpad is beautiful because it's like it's literally a computer in here. By the way, the computer in here runs on Linux. This has a single board processor. I believe it's a RISC processor of some kind. This here has a Pi. This synthesizer has a Pi computer in it, fanless and everything, and it runs Linux. And this one here runs Linux too. Isn't that cool? Got Linux, little Linux computers in these two synthesizers. Isn't that something? Let's see here. Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, the computers that are inside of these two synthesizers, they are using Linux. Like I said, there's a Raspberry Pi in one of these. I don't know exactly what's in here. I believe this is a 4-core processor that's in the Akai MPC Key 61. Okay. Let's see what we got here. What I'm looking for here is I'm looking for one that's got some drum programs loaded on these pads. I don't see it yet. Let's see here. I think the Clock Alive does. It's going to give us some drum sounds on these pads. It did not do that. It's crazy how much power this has. This has 8,000 sounds. Here we go with some drum sounds. And not only that, all of these synthesizers and the drum machine have their own built-in effects, so I really don't need any external effects devices except for the electric guitar. And that's what this blue sky is up here. That's for the electric guitar, which I don't play, which is here for a session player. Okay. I think that overloaded the stream there. And that's why we have this. Well, the idea was not for me to perform, because usually what I do is I sit in here and I come up with the sounds on each synthesizer. Remember, there's 4 different synthesizers here. It looks like there's 3, but there's a 4th one here in this rack module, and it's tied in with this one. So usually what I will do is, here we go. So what I usually do is work with each synthesizer individually and come up with the sounds that I want to use in a composition. And then I think about that for a while, and then I come back in, and then I start to mix each synthesizer together with the particular sounds I want to play, and then I hit record, and then I just keep recording until it sounds like I really got something that I want to keep. That's kind of how it works. I always leave that recorder in Audacity going, okay? Because these synthesizers have so many sounds. Ooh, that's a very low frequency sound there. So you can see this one synthesizer alone has thousands of different possibilities. So I have to go through and come up with some inspiration. Exactly do I want to use these sounds for, and in what sequence? Yeah. Okay, it says my mic volume is off. Everything looks good here. Did we lose the audio on the stream? No, everything looks good. Are we good there? I think what happened was it's you saying it's too low. Okay. I can fix that. How about that? Is that better? I think that's better. Okay. But thanks for letting me know there, Marks. Okay. Oh yeah, there's so many. Okay. Well, I'm looking here and it's just peaking on the audio, so we should be good. This is the advantage of this microphone is it won't pick up everything in the next room. It's a broadcast mic, and what it is, it's a cut down shotgun mic and Electro Voice RE20. Well, this is the industry standard for broadcasting, and as I was saying, I have other microphones for vocals and other things. This is my favorite. You know, I tell everybody there's a microphone out there for every voice. There's hundreds of microphones, man. And that's the reason why is each microphone has a particular characteristic for every aspect of the human voice. That's why there's hundreds. Okay. And then there are what's called industry standards and favorites like Neumann, U87, and all those that have recorded everybody from Frank Sinatra to the Beatles to Simon and Garfunkel. Those are just industry standard studio mics. But I like to use this one for voiceovers when I do poetry on KPTAMC, the YouTube channel. And then I also like to use this when I do the vocals for the weekly radio program that I produce, the Big Band Hour on WCSK. So I see we have 5 people out there. Is there anybody? Let's stop. Anybody want to ask some questions? And like I said, Marks, I can't see Internet Relay Chat on this computer because I don't have it installed as part of the software package on this computer. Because remember, I have that custom program that installs different pieces of software on different computers depending on what computer it is. And this is a minimal install for the studio computer. I can't believe we're streaming wirelessly off this little computer that's no bigger. No activity there. This little computer that's no bigger than a paperback book, and it has Wi-Fi, and it's just working like a charm. Because next week, back in the workstation, we're going to be using obsstudio. Open source broadcast studio will be and that way we'll be able to show desktops and do all kinds of cool things there. And I was hoping we'd have more people show up today, but I know my neighbor can't make it because personal reasons. Okay, so we've got 4 folks out there. Oh, we got a couple here in the chat. Are there any other questions? I know, Jess, you've got to go here soon, so I don't want to keep you, but I appreciate very much you stopping by and getting to see the studio. Let me get some other sounds going here. This is a very cool set of sounds. Oof. Some of these sounds are rhythmic, so I don't have to do the rhythm part. I just hold the keys. Let me get another set of sounds in here. Whoops. That's where I like to keep the mixer very close to what I'm doing. Nope. That's not going to cut it. Oops. So what I'm demonstrating here, just in case anybody wonders what's going on, this little synthesizer that I put on this homemade stand to keep it close to everything instead of having to put it way over here. I've got this custom made little stand I made for it. This is a programmable synthesizer that you can program up to 3 different synthesizers on these pads. And just like the other synthesizers, there's lots of different sounds in here. I mean, lots. Doesn't mean I'm going to use them though in the compositions. They just are ones that come with it. No, that didn't change it. I want to go to the next sound. This was used in one of my last compositions, Soundtrack for a Friend. Because that sound, I just had to use it. That sounded just so beautiful. See what I mean? Matter of fact, I think on Soundtrack for a Friend, I only used 2 synthesizers to do that because this one just so beautiful. In fact, I really don't even have to look at it to play it. How cool is that? Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that very much. Oh, this is an outstanding instrument. It really is. Well, let's see what we can get going here. Let me look at some of my favorites here that I like on the Akai MPC Key 61, and I've used this on some soundtracks. This is a very deep evolving string sound. Yeah, that's not what I was looking for. This synthesizer has a bug in the software. And the thing is it only has this one bug that comes up once in a great while. And the reason I haven't updated it, okay, as you well know, my software friends, sometimes when you update the firmware of the software, you get other bugs that you don't want. And that's why I've tolerated that one bug on this one synthesizer, because I don't want the other ones on the update. Okay. As a matter of fact, I've never updated the firmware in either of these synthesizers since I bought them. That's as is from the factory. We're not going to get into the business of screwing with the firmware on these synths, because I don't want to brick one of them. Because the problem is you can't take these apart and just send the computer back. You've got to send the whole thing back if you brick one of these synthesizers. So we use them as is. And if there's a bug, actually this doesn't have any bugs in it, but there's one bug in this one. Okay, let's go to my favorites. Here's Dark String Answer the way it really should sound. I knew right away there was a problem. This sound takes a long time to develop fully. Okay. Does it? Well, today's attendance is not very good, folks. It's just not. Any other questions before I continue on here giving a demonstration of the Akai MPC Key 61? Any other questions? Well, somebody just joined. We've got somebody else out there. Jump on in. The water's just fine if you have a question. Today is a live stream from the Sound Studio. Generally, it's the Linux questions and answers is done in the other room. But today I promised viewers that we would do a live from the studio. We can still answer computer questions and Linux questions. Everything is fair game, regardless of your level of ability. And this is a judgment-free zone. Okay. All right. So I'm pausing real quick here to see if anybody has any questions. If not, we'll get back to this one called Endless Horizon, which I've used in several of the soundtracks that are on the YouTube channel. It's just a beautiful string sound. You can do so much with this. You can pair it with other synthesizers. Like I said, okay, the question is this being recorded on that computer in the studio? Actually, it's being streamed from the computer in the studio, the small one, not the big workstation. That's a test workstation for Linux. This is just a little paperback book-sized computer, and its only job is to record in Audacity from the USB sound interface. This device here, it goes out to the, and that's why this kind of shakes a little bit there. Okay, you mean the right. Is it recording? Okay, well, the computer in the studio you can't see because it's on this adjustable height stand. Okay. Oh, is Audacity recording this? No, it's just going straight out to YouTube, but then I'll save it. Yeah. But normally that's what I do. And those voices are normal. Those are samples. Those are sound samples. Okay. Is apparently side. Is there an audio problem? Okay. Normally the music would be recorded. This isn't music, this is ambient soundtracks. Normally it's going to be recorded to Audacity, but today I'm using the computer to stream. Okay. So what I normally do is I'm not going to sit here and play like I am today. I have certain sounds that I want on certain synthesizers, and then I come in the room at different times of the day. I wander in and out until I get an inspiration, and then I come in and I start playing and doodling. And at the same time, I have Audacity running, because with that 2 terabyte SSD, I have hundreds of hours. I could just leave this recorder going for a week. Okay, leave Audacity going for a week. But that way, if there's some inspirational thing that happens, I've got Audacity has recorded it. Always, I just love that movie. Let's see, Glenn Ross. It's got some great quotes from it, like always be closing, ABC, and then coffee is for closers. Well, always be recording. Always leave your recorders running when you're playing any musical instrument, doing anything, because you never know, what you might capture, and then go back. Oh my gosh, we forgot to turn the recorder on, and we lost that inspirational minute. What I'm doing today is I'm just demonstrating what these amazing keyboards can do. And the real fact is not only that, but why I bought these particular ones. Okay. Each one has a specific purpose, and I carefully shopped and decided what I wanted. And like this one here has 8,000 sounds, a lot of which sounds are great for traditional musicians, but I'm never going to use them. But then I've got some beautiful sounds that I am going to use for ambient soundtracks, like this. Or about this one called Momentum Studio Strings. Okay. Or about this one called Shattered Landscape. Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, so, okay, I'll do this one. This is one of my favorite piano sounds. If I could only play. Well, I can. I can play these chords with this pad. Yeah. Oh, this is a cool stage piano. Matter of fact, I've used both of these sounds on a recent soundtrack. So that's the beauty of this pad. It allows me to assign chords to it, and I can play chords without having to use the keyboard. Yeah, because I can't use the keyboard very well. Let's see what we got here. Man, there's so many sounds. So many sounds. It's 8,000. And what's interesting about the Akai MPC Key 61, it's mainly used by beat artists and beat musicians. It's not used by people who do ambient soundtracks. But I bought this because I went to the store twice to listen to it before I made the buying decision. And what sold me was, wait a minute, this has so many interesting sounds that could be used in ambient soundtracks. Plus, it's got these pads. Oh, how about that sound? Oh, yeah. Or how about this? Actually, I have not used that yet, but it's in my favorites. Or how about this one, Seafarer? Yeah. Or can you hear that low frequency drum beat? Oh yeah, that's peaking the scales. So are there any other questions here today? Because it's 3:14, so we've been in this thing for almost for 45 minutes. Are there any other questions or any comments, thoughts? I see there's a couple thumbs up. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And by the way, I made a beautiful video today in the backyard, a beautiful nature video that will be out Monday morning, next Monday morning. I have so many videos coming out there, staged each day. This one will be on replay tomorrow, which will be Friday. Then there's a video coming out Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and then the beautiful nature video featuring Tiger the cat. Tiger made a surprise appearance. He came out, he jumped out of the woods to be part of that video. So that'll be out Monday morning. Okay. Well, I know Jess couldn't stay very long. So, Jess, if you left or you're still with us, thank you so much for coming in from the other side of the planet. That is great. Thank you so much for your support. Well, we're missing some of the other regulars. Wait until you see what Tiger did. Tiger followed me back along the deer trail, all the way back to the back of my property line, to the back of my lot. It was beautiful seeing that orange tail coming up through the foliage. It was crazy. It was beautiful. Oh. So when I am thinking about doing a composition, I will sit here and go through some of these sounds until I find exactly the sounds I want to go together. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, this little synthesizer here with the pads, it can do so much. It can do so much. Oh, that's a beautiful fill sound is what that's called, is a fill sound. And that is used on quite a few of my tracks. I need to get something better going here on this. Let's see here. Bring up the utilities. How about this one? Atmospheric lo-fi. I know you can't hear me because I'm away from the mic. this isn't going to work. How about Ancient Visions is good. Yeah. Yeah. Ancient Visions is good. I've used it on quite a few soundtracks. I may need to turn that volume down a bit. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. Well, we've got 3 people on the channel right now. I think Mark's is the only one in chat. I know some other people already messaged me today and said they couldn't make it. They wouldn't be here. So we've got a few more minutes for the live because I don't want to stretch this out too long because I do have some other things I'd like to do today. Let's see here. Here's a beautiful sound called Fifthscape. I've used this in a soundtrack, actually solo. I could play sort of, but I wouldn't try to make any money off of it. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Quietly Distressed. I've used that one before too. Actually, there's a track called Quietly Distressed. What I do sometimes, I just name some of these tracks after the sound name that's given in the synthesizer. Yeah, like Melancholia Roads, I've used that. That was one of my first ones with this keyboard. Isn't that a beautiful road sound? Yeah, I used that right away. Actually, Endless Horizon, I have 2 Endless Horizon tracks, Endless Horizon and Endless Horizon number 2, using this sound, this string sound. Very haunting, apocalyptic sound to it. Let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, that's a sound that I used on a track, but I haven't released it. Darn. Not getting the sounds I want I'm not getting the sounds I want out of this. That's not anywhere close. Let's see. I can always call up another set. Oh, yeah. Around this dark city. There we go. That's massive overload right there. Here's something a little more quiet. Oh, yeah. So, sound from Blade Runner. Yeah. Yep. There we are. Well, thank you for the thumbs up. It's very much appreciated. I think this is going to be a replay that's going to get a lot of views that a lot of people didn't see the first time because a lot of people are just busy today. Like I said, I already received several messages from friends and neighbors that they weren't going to be able to make it today for one reason or the other. So, Marks, what is going on out there? I guess there have been no questions in IRC. People must be, like I said, and people have their attention. And that's the important thing to realize is that YouTube Live is not the only thing going on in the world today, and this is going to be the time going forward because I cannot do these at night, and this allows people in Europe to participate in their evenings, and then people here in North America in the morning. If you're Pacific time, it's 11:30. And then the rest of the country here noon and 1:30 and 2:30. Yeah, Mountain, Central, and then Eastern. So any thoughts there, Mark, since I think you're the last one in here? Well, this was a pain in the you-know-what to set up. I guarantee you next week it's going back to the workstation and with OBS. Okay, well, I see 3 people on the panel there. Is there anybody else who'd like to ask a question concerning Linux in sound production, concerning Linux, period, hardware, any computer related question, anything that doesn't involve religion and politics? We can talk about the weather, the beautiful weather here in Kingsport. But we'd rather leave religion and politics off the table. There are plenty of groups that talk about that night and day. Trust me, they're sharpening their swords all the time. Yeah. Well, I'd love to answer another question before we shut it down because we've got 3 people watching. And some people who watch do not have YouTube. They're using FreeTube or they're using some other device, some other software to watch a YouTube channel without being monitored by YouTube and monitored and probed by YouTube. So that's understandable. But if somebody has a question they'd like to relay through Mark's in Internet Relay Chat, let's go ahead and get that one in. All right, folks. Well, we've reached the hour mark. Okay, so if there are no further questions, I'm going to go ahead and close this live down for the day. And hopefully we'll have a better attendance next week and be back on the workstation. Yes. Okay, well, everybody who's watching, have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for dropping by and being part of today's stream. This is the Linux Question and Answer Hour, but today it's been hosted live from the Sound Studio. That every little bit of sound you hear, except for the nature sounds on KPTAMC, the YouTube channel, have been made right here. No AI, been handcrafted right here. and recorded and produced in Linux. Okay, well, everybody, we're going to go ahead and sign off, and we'll see you all next week.